Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. And today, guys, the market is moving. It's going to be a busy weekend. We are officially 2 weeks away to the end of the summer transfer window. 1 week away from the start of the big leagues. So it's going to be crazy. Today, Community Shield, Manchester City, Arsenal. So we're going to follow that game as well. It's going to be special, of course. So let's wait for the pitch verdicts, but let's wait for the market verdicts because things are happening as always. And so remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel for all the latest. Tonight we also had updates on Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta, ahead of the game against Manchester City, said no worries on my contract. He has 1 year left on his contract, but Arteta said, I'm very happy here. The feeling between me and Arsenal is excellent. We want to be together. So Arteta is fully expected to sign a new contract at Arsenal. The conversations already started before the end of the season, around the end of March, beginning of April. Now the agent of Arteta himself and Arsenal are talking about the final points of the contract, and then the expectation is for Magic Mikel Arteta, as Arsenal fans call him, to put pen to paper and sign a new contract very soon. While we talk about Arsenal, let me restart with Arsenal. Let's start in London this video. Because Arsenal are looking for a centre-back. Arsenal are still looking for a centre-back. They made some calls for Marc Pubil over this week, but the player is not for sale. Atletico Madrid have no intention to sell the player, and so Pubil's story is a non-story at this stage, in the sense that they consider the player, but he's not for sale. Then, in the last 24 hours, Julián Quansah, the defender from Bayer Leverkusen, Liverpool already have control on the player, but the defender emerged as a new option for Arsenal centre-back. And it's true that Arsenal have an interest in the player. From what I understand, Arsenal made official contact with Bayer Leverkusen in the recent hours, at night. The answer from Bayer Leverkusen is that they don't want to sell the player, so they rejected the approach from Arsenal, the first approach with a verbal exchange. Then let's see if Arsenal will decide to try also in the next days to see and try and understand if Bayer Leverkusen can change their stance. Don't forget that Liverpool maintain future control on the player, but Liverpool had no possibility now to activate the release clause. The release clause, the buyback clause, already expired. And so if Liverpool want to bring back Julián Quansah to the club for 70 million euros, has to be in summer 2027. But for sure, Arsenal are interested in the boy. At the moment, Bayer Leverkusen rejected the first approach. Let's see if Arsenal try again, but for sure, the interest is genuine and movements took place. So we have to follow that situation. Then the other name I would keep in the shortlist for Arsenal remains Quansah. Because Aston Villa defender is very appreciated, Arsenal are considering the player, Arsenal have the player on their shortlist, he's been on the shortlist for some time, and so for sure Quansah is a name to keep in mind when we talk about Arsenal defender. Talking about London, I told you this video will start in London. Something to mention on someone who could leave London and someone who can arrive in London. Savinho remains a top target for Tottenham. Don't forget about Savinho. In my last video, I was talking about wingers. Mika goes to Paris Saint-Germain. Barcola, Liverpool top target and talks ongoing. Cody Gakpo, Tottenham top target. But don't forget what I've been telling you for the whole summer. Tottenham want 2 wingers. Cody Gakpo, and we spoke about him in the last video. But for Savinho, negotiations are taking place. Discussions are taking place. Conversations are taking place. So the Savinho story is absolutely on. And we have to keep the name of Savinho in mind for Tottenham Hotspur. And then we have to understand what's going to happen also with Liam Delap. Because for Liam Delap, Chelsea are prepared to let the player go in case they have a good proposal. Como, and that's the exclusive update of the afternoon, made contact with Chelsea for Liam Delap. Chelsea were asking for conditions of the deal. My understanding is that Como would be interested in a loan deal for Liam Delap. So the initial approach was over a loan move. At the moment, the salary of Liam Delap and also the salary share with Chelsea is the problem, in the sense that Como cannot pay the whole salary of Liam Delap. So or they find a different kind of agreement, or this deal could be complicated. But Como made an approach, Como liked the player, and we have to follow the situation because Chelsea believe more clubs will also join the race for Delap in the next 2 weeks. So let's see also the timing of this story, but for sure, Delap is one to watch from now to the end of the summer transfer window. And then, guys, we have to move on the Barcelona-Manchester big stories. On Rodri, contacts took place again today. contacts will continue over the weekend. Barcelona keep working on Rodri. Barcelona are prepared, as I told you in a video this morning, to present a third proposal for Rodri. Barça are coming back. Barça are bidding again. Barça want to go for Rodri, and Barça remain confident for Rodri. So at the moment, this depends on the financial agreement Manchester City-Barcelona, but the deal is absolutely on, and the third bid is coming. So absolutely negotiations underway for Rodri. Don't forget about Barcelona exits. One thing, that tonight, and it's important about Paris Saint-Germain, both Mika Götze and also Ferran Torres have arrived in Paris. So both players are in Paris, and both players will have their medical over the weekend. Then, talking about Barcelona, guys, in terms of striker, while they remain confident on Rodri, for the striker position, Luis Suarez from Sporting is a player that Barcelona had in consideration in terms of potential alternative, but what's the problem here? Sporting point at the release clause, 80 million euros. Sporting don't want to negotiate, don't want to lose one of their key players in the final weeks of the summer transfer window, so Sporting keep telling any club interested, for example Fenerbahce, one of the candidates to become president, tried to sign Luis Suarez, even had an agreement with Luis Suarez on the contract at the beginning of the summer transfer window, and the answer from Fenerbahce has always been 80 million euros, 8-0, the release clause, or nothing. And so at the moment Barcelona are not going to pay the release clause for Luis Suarez, 80 million euros. So one thing is about opportunities, one thing is about overpaying. And Barcelona believe that 80 million euros in this moment is too much. And so that's the situation. And then, for sure, Barcelona message again today, and I'm sure it's going to be the same over the weekend, is we still want to wait for Julián Álvarez. We still want to see what happens with Julián Álvarez. So Barcelona are yet to give up on Julián Álvarez. Then, the story remains exactly the same, guys, on Atletico Madrid side. Atletico don't want to sell the player. Atletico have no intention to negotiate with Barcelona. Atletico believe that the player to Barça is not happening. The player is still pushing. The player is dreaming of Barça. The player told Simeone he wants to go to Barcelona. So the story has really not changed. But from Barcelona, the message as of today is, okay, there could be alternatives, but first of all, we will not overpay. Second, we will not sign just to sign. Third, we are not paying 80 million euros, like in the case of Luis Suarez. So Barcelona made contact to understand the situation, but this is not advancing because of the price at this stage. And then, on Julián Álvarez, Barça say, we are still waiting, we are still hoping, let's see what's going to happen. But from Atletico, the doors remain, as of today, still closed. On this, guys, and much more, I will keep you posted. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your opinion on everything. Rodri, Julián, Suarez, Delap, Quansah, Savinho, many stories, many news. See you in the next hours. Thank you as always.